Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Today we're going to be talking about a new trend that I'm seeing in America that is combined with the trend of retail theft across this country, which is firing employees when they did absolutely nothing wrong, and they actually are trying to protect the business and their job by just capturing information related to the suspect. And what we're going to talk about today is a specific video from Inside Edition where they have a guy who filmed somebody stealing all the laundry detergent from a local store, and for some reason, the store fired him for it, which is just asinine to me. But before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to the members. ActualJusticeWarrior.com/join. Get early access to videos via the secret video page.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
And thank you to the podcast listeners, Spotify, Apple, and Google's podcasting platform.
It's video showing 3 alleged shoplifters stealing $500 worth of laundry detergent from a supermarket. And a store clerk is taping everything, even as the suspects quickly load up the getaway car.
So as you can see with this video, you have 3 individuals loading up a car with, according to the reporting, about $500 worth of laundry detergent. Now, one of the reasons why laundry detergent, deodorant, and other things like that are being stolen is not because these guys are desperate Aladdins trying to eat the laundry detergent or they're in desperate need of clean clothes. It's due to the fact that laundry detergent is non-perishable, so you can hold these items for a long time until they sell and not worry about expiration dates. This is because likely what we're dealing with is a retail theft operation that seeks to sell this detergent, sell these products in some other way for a sufficient profit. Now, David Dole would say he can't imagine anybody stealing from a store unless they were absolutely objectively in desperation.
But how do you, why would somebody shoplift unless they need some shit? And look, I'm sure there are, some teens who do it for fun, of course. But just generally, people in desperate situations need to survive. When they're in those situations, they do more desperate things.
Now, I'm not saying that they're driving a nice car in this video, but it's for damn sure a clean car in this video. It's cleaner than the exterior of my car because the birds in New York City be taking their shots at me, and believe me, one day I will have my revenge against them. And again, this is just a failure to understand the criminal mindset. These people are probably part of an organized retail theft operation. The reason why this guy is filming it is because likely he's experienced this before time and time again, and we don't have to look at my speculation for the answer to that. We just have to look at the other various segments that we did, or even go to your big box stores, go to your CVS's, and notice that laundry detergent in a lot of these places is not even on the shelves anymore. It's behind the counter or behind the glass. This is due to the fact that they move stuff behind the counter or behind the glass that is often frequently stolen based on the data. So these are targeted items, and you have an employee trying to do the right thing, trying to capture the evidence, not trying to intervene nor create any liability issues, but trying to have some consequences for these people that are not only stealing from this store, but destroying the community.
Really, bro? You gotta resort to this?
Santino Barola says he was stunned when he was told he was getting the axe from the King Soopers store in Centennial, Colorado.
The policy says no chasing, no physical deterrent, whatsoever. And I did neither of those things.
So I just want to point out, because people like to talk about the racial dynamics of these cases and claim that criminal justice policy, evil white racism, and all of that. Well, it looks like we have 3 white guys, possibly a little bit drugged out. I'm not saying anything, but I know a meth white when I look at a meth white. And we have a Latino guy being fired for filming it. And the thing that apparently put them over the top at the supermarket was this incredibly intelligent action that ultimately led to the arrest of these individuals for this retail theft.
So what did he supposedly do wrong? As the suspects try to drive off, watch as the quick-thinking Barola tears away the foil covering the license plate. That action directly led to the arrest of the driver.
If he hadn't done that, it would just be another video of 3 people stealing again like that's happening all over the United States right now.
That was pretty quick thinking on his part to remove the foil over the license plate so that they could capture the license plate so that they could ultimately arrest this individual. And to me, this is a gut-wrenching story because you have a guy who works as a retail job. It's not a high-paying job, nothing fancy, anything like that. But he's working. He's trying to produce. We don't know if he has kids, a family, or whatever. But the point is, he's doing the right things in our society. We have 3 individuals, cheats of the system, leeches on the system, that make everything worse for people like him that are trying to steal from his business, which eventually could lead to the shutting down of his business, as we talk about. These big supermarket chains, these big box stores, actually have low profit margins, so enough of a spike in theft could put them out of business. It also causes prices to go up, not just in the supermarket, but in the broader economy when you have these repeat thefts, which hurt the lowest income among us, which hurt the people like him who are trying to do the right thing, trying to work, even though they're not earning a lot of money. They're just trying to get by. And he decides he's not going to fight them. He's not going to create a liability issue. He's not going to do anything of the sort, but he's going to try his damnedest to capture them on video, figure out who these people are so that they can get arrested. And what ends up happening? The store punishes him because they're so afraid of the potential liability from our society that is favoring the criminals, a potential lawsuit against the store, that they want to punish him because of it, that they would rather sacrifice an employee, a loyal employee, than actually go after the criminals that put everybody's job in that store at risk, that put parts of their business at risk, and put the community at risk into spiraling into poverty.
But that doesn't matter. Barola is still out of a job because he violated the company's policy against employees intervening during thefts.
Now look, as you heard, by the letter of the law, the store policy is incredibly broad. But the thing is, the heart of the policy should not be to enforce this so strictly, because the reason why you have policies against intervening in retail theft is due to liability issues. Obviously, $500 worth of laundry detergent is a problem, but a more significant problem would be him getting hurt intervening and requiring medical attention and potentially suing the store based on that, or him inadvertently or intentionally hurting one of these people and creating a liability issue that way.
What do you think of this store policy?
I think it's a little bit ridiculous. I get it, the liability and to not chase after them or physically deter them, which in the video I clearly didn't either. I was walking, not chasing, and never did I physically touch them in any way, shape, or form.
So I understand the nature of the policy, and I understand people make this argument all the time, that $500, $300, whatever amount of money is being stolen in terms of merchandise is just not worth it. But the thing is, this stacks up. The thing is, this creates a chilling effect, and there's more thefts that are going on, and catching these guys is absolutely crucial into cutting down those thefts. As we talked about in New York with the 327 shoplifters representing a third of all shoplifting arrests, or as we talked about in any area with any set of crimes, typically the problem is repeat offenders. And I'm not saying I'm judging this based on their appearance or anything like that, but the tactics deployed by these thieves scream repeat offenders. Think about it. They had something to block their plate, so there was a plan in place before they entered the store. They specifically targeted the detergent, which again, when you're experienced and you know what resells, what you can hold for a while before you move it, is what we see them tend to target. Their operations seem pretty clean. Like, they got in, they grabbed all the stuff, they got out, they're loading it up pretty quickly, and then they took off. They weren't even deterred by the guy filming them because they had the plate thing, and even according to the police, covering the plate basically made it impossible for these people to be prosecuted, which, by the way, I find incredibly annoying because I know for a fact that they could have prosecuted them even with the plate being covered based on the image of their face, based on the vehicle and all of that. But the police want it incredibly easy in order to deal with these cases. So we have repeat offenders, likely people who have hit a bunch of these different stores for a bunch of different products, and him capturing one of them at least has led to a decline, and a measurable decline, in that area. Now, of course, that assumes a prosecution, and that assumes follow through by the rest of the judicial system, and I hope they do so, because the lesson that history teaches us when it comes to shoplifting and retail theft and organized crime is that these people will continue to do it until you take it seriously, and this needs to be taken seriously. Again, it might not affect me. I'm pretty well off. I got a lot of support from you guys on this channel. I've been successful for myself, and maybe some of you out there listening have been pretty successful for yourselves. But those of you who actually live how I used to live, where you're pinching pennies, where you're looking for the best price at the best place, know how devastating even slight price increases can be towards your necessities. So if you have to pay more for laundry detergent, if you have to pay more for food, if you have to drive out further because your grocery store or whatever store closed down, that's going to impact you significantly more. That's going to hurt you in your day-to-day life. And this idea that we would focus solely on the lawbreakers and their sad stories and their Aladdin-like tale, and not on the people who struggle but still do the right thing, the overwhelming majority of those people who just want opportunities, who are having those opportunities and those chances ripped away by people like those in the car, is one of the huge problems of our society. Now, I will say, this guy has a GoFundMe. I will link it in the description of this video. It's about $37,000 at the time of me recording this video. If you want to support him, then I totally understand that. Again, that's why I'm linking it. I support this guy. I believe he did the right thing, and honestly, shame on the store for firing him over this.
Brola has lots of support on social media. This man should get a raise, not termination, goes one typical commentary.
You think you were unfairly fired?
I believe so. Being a veteran, being a former military police officer, I'm always going to do the right thing, especially if a crime is happening in front of me.
Again, military veteran, serves our country, military police officer, is interested in law enforcement. He saw something, he acted on the principles, on what he believed was right. He didn't intervene in any kind of physical way, didn't put anybody in danger, maybe potentially put himself in danger, and yet they fired him over that. Absolutely shameful of this store to do so. Total mistake, sends the wrong message across the country, because once you get rid of the people who are willing to stand up, once you force people to the point where they're silent on these issues or they just stand idle, the theft is going to explode even greater than what we're seeing right now. Again, we have to go after these people. We have to hold these repeat offenders. I'm not saying you should get life in prison if you're shoplifting, but you know what? A prosecution for it will have a deterrent effect. A friend of mine stole a wallet once, and he had to pay a fine, something like 9 times the value of the wallet. And guess what? That friend didn't steal that wallet. And by the way, for those of you who thought my friend was Aladdin, he was significantly better off than myself. He was just being a jerk, didn't want to pay for the thing that he wanted to pay for. He got caught. He learned his lesson because that was taken seriously. The store actually sent somebody to testify against him at the trial. That creates a chilling effect on criminals, and right now what we're saying to the criminals out there is this is the crime you want to commit. There are almost no consequences for it, and even though this guy got caught, guess what? The news story is how the store fired this person for getting this person caught, so it probably won't happen to you. That is not a workable system. But again, those are just my thoughts. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on all my social media, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about a guy being fired for doing the right thing. Till next time.